I discussed a few episodes ago, I believe it was the Central Division preview, on what I expect out of Connor Bedard this season. And basically what I think he has to do, and I said this on the show, is at the very least, for him to justify the hype, he has to be Nathan MacKinnon or Austin Matthews. I think he has to win multiple Hart trophies in his career, which means 2 or more, and at least 1 Stanley Cup, because I think a cup these days is hard to come by. I think you see that with the best player in the world right now, Connor McDavid, and the challenges they're facing in Edmonton. So I want to know, and I said as well for this season, at the start of the season, I said I expect him to have a similar rookie year to Matthews, because I think he's a better player than Matthews was coming into his rookie year. But Matthews had more guys around him than Bedard has in Chicago. And I believe Matthews had around 69 points, I think it was, and 40 goals his rookie year. I expected something similar out of Bedard. And so far, the kid looks like the real deal. Doesn't look like James Neal, but still looks like the real deal. And I know you're a big Bedard guy, Truman. Give me your take on what you expect out of him, kind of like similar to what I just said, like career-wise, and then we've kind of seen what he looks like this season, but maybe how do you expect him to finish off the season?
Yeah, so as far as it goes with Bedard, I mean, he's if you thought he was going to be a point of the game out the gate, I mean, like, who was the last person to do that? Crosby and Ovechkin?
I know that, well, depends how you want to define that. Like, coming out of the draft, it would be
straight out.
Yeah, because there was Barzal had that.
Yeah, we're not
crazy.
counting like Kaprizov or like Panarin or anything.
Yeah,
like that. I don't even know what Panarin was, but anyways, no, like that's just a wrong expectation. No, I think he's been absolutely great. I think I honestly think he is more of a winger than a center. I know that's weird to say. He is undersized, but he plays the center really well. Like, he is responsible defensively. I don't care whatever plus-minus metrics you're going to throw at me. Those aren't really valid, at least in my eyes. But yeah,
especially on a team like Chicago.
Yeah, 7 points in 11 games on a bottom feeder in the league and not playing with much help at all. I think he's been really good. And yeah, I expect that going forward. He has pretty much an unsavable wrist shot. It is one of the craziest shots I've ever seen.
For a guy that's not a big guy, he can rip a shot.
Yeah, his release is something I've never seen before.
Although he is sneaky, like, muscly, he's not a big dude. Like, you wouldn't think he would have the power that he does.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And I've already noticed he finds those quiet areas. His speed isn't what it was in junior. Like, he wasn't just skating circles or just dangling through people. But that's actually a good thing for him. I think being able to adjust to playing a game where you're not just trying to make a highlight reel goal every time is really important, and it helps you develop that 100-foot game.
It's a lot different when you can't just skate through the whole team.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good for him. And I don't want to put an expectation on him like, well, he has to be, like Matthews or McKinnon. Like, of course, you'd like to see those numbers, and I do think that he can reach that point. I do think that's a possibility. But, like, take a look at Marcel Dion, for example. Never really, like, a major award winner. He won a couple Lady Byng trophies, and he was a great player. He won an Art Ross and put up 100 points several times in his career. Never won a cup, never was considered the best player in the league. And a lot of people in today's age don't even remember who he is. And, like, he was one of the best players in his era. And so I think even if he reached that, like, how many times did Marcel Dion put up 100 points? Like 6, 7, 8 times? Like, it was ridiculous. So I think as long as he's, like, he's a star on his own team, he's consistently within that top 5, top 10 player conversation. Like, if he takes a similar career path to what David Pastrnak has done, I see that as a success. Like, David Pastrnak is an elite player in this hockey world, and if he continues on this trajectory, he's like a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, yeah, with Bedard, I don't think he needs to be McDavid or Crosby. I think it's doable, but I think this year, yeah, he's not going to be a point per game. Next year, I think we see something super special, and year 3, I think, is a takeover potentially.